Hey everyone, welcome to another ASIN Know Your Product video. Today we're going to be deep diving into the Armory Crate SE system for the ROG Ally. Navigating around the ACSE is easy too. Use the left thumbstick to navigate around the different titles or tabs, while your A button will act as your enter key, whereas the B button will serve as the escape or backspace key function. What you see here is the Armory Crate SE homepage, or ACSE for short. Whenever ACSE boots up, it opens with this game library page. As you can see, it neatly organizes all the games installed on your system for instant access. This page also features the option to sort your games as you like, add or delete titles, and much more. Whenever you have a title highlighted on the game library screen, the game profile option opens up, which you can access by pressing X. In this new window, the title is mentioned on top, that's your game name, and you can now do key mappings and a lot of other stuff here. As the name suggests, key mapping will let you customize the controls for your game whenever you launch it from the Armory Crate SE. Now, there's also the option to customize dead zone and outer threshold for your left and right thumbstick, right? You get both of these options here. And then there's also the option to change trigger sensitivity for both the left and the right trigger. You can also set vibration intensity for both the vibrating motors and various configurations such as how the device will behave when it's plugged in, when it's not plugged in, the lighting of the system, and more options like the game visual, which can be triggered whenever the game is launched from the Armory Crate SE. We're back at the game library screen, and now let's head over to the settings tab. When we move to settings tab, which is up here, you'll see that there are multiple options to configure and change settings and play around with them. First up is control mode, which we will configure right now. You can enter the configure mode either by tapping on the configure option or by pressing the A button. Now we have the gamepad mode and desktop mode here to tinker around with. Let's take a look at the gamepad mode, and I'll again press A to enter and edit the gamepad mode. Here you can see that the key mapping function is similar to the game profile function we saw earlier, right? This gamepad mode also lets you edit and customize almost all of the keys on the Ally as per your requirement. And whenever you launch a game in gamepad mode from Armory Crate SE, it will follow the guidelines that you've set here in gamepad mode. I'll give you a quick example of how you can edit and customize your buttons on the Ally as per your requirement. Let's try changing the functioning of the right bumper. I'll just press A and a new pane pops up wherein you can see that the primary function and secondary function for the right button is set. Secondary function is right now not assigned, so we'll try and change it to our requirement. Once I go down and press A on the secondary function, you can see that there are multiple options which open up. Gamepad, action, keyboard, number pad, mouse, and combine keys option. So you can set any of these options to the right button. Let's try changing the right button to our desired input. I'll just go over to mouse and let's set the right button to left click. As I press A, it will assign the left click functionality as the secondary function for the right bumper. So whenever I press the right button, it will now act as left click. Next up, we have the desktop mode. And as the name suggests, this mode will set Ally's key mapping to emulate the functions which are widely used on a desktop. You can see that the left trigger is assigned to work as left shift plus tab functionality. And similarly, the right click is assigned to the right trigger, whereas the left bumper acts as the left click. All these buttons are assigned automatically, but you can change the functions as per your requirement. Rest other options remain the same as gamepad mode. Just to give you a small demo, in desktop mode, the right thumbstick works as a mouse, whereas the right trigger acts as the right click, and the right bumper becomes your left click. Other options in the settings tab includes the operating mode. Now this is quite similar to the modes we offer on our ROG and TUF laptop. You can select from these modes: Windows, Silent, Performance, Turbo, and Manual. As the name suggests, the silent mode helps keep the most battery life in your Ally when you're on the go. And here is a quick look at how it works. The performance mode, as the name suggests,
will tune the CPU to work at around 15 watts with more preference given to GPU performance and CPU performance and little bit to cooling as well. Next up, we have the turbo mode, which pushes Ally's Xeon Extreme chip to work at 25 watts when unplugged and 30 watts when plugged in. You get the best performance in this mode as GPU gets the most power here so that you can play even AAA titles with ease. Man-in mode lets you change the wattage settings for the CPU, and you can select between different profiles, the SPL, SPPT and FPPT values, which is basically different TDP targets for the CPU, and you can change it as per your requirement. You can also custom adjust the fan speeds for both fans on the ROG Ally. The System Stats tab in Settings gives you a quick glance at your current system settings with the CPU, GPU usage, and fan speeds. Eco Settings, as the name suggests, it helps get the most battery life out of your Ally with the Extreme Standby mode and Modern Standby option. In GPU settings, you can assign how much memory you want for the integrated graphics on the Ally. Since our gaming handheld ships with 16 GB of LPDDR5 memory, you can choose how much of it will be readily available and allocated for when you're playing games. Next up, we have the connection mode, audio mode, and aura sync. Connection mode will quickly let you see if you're connected to any Wi-Fi and Bluetooth devices. In audio, you get the microphone modes since you have dual microphones on the Ally. You can select the microphone input between these different modes so that if you're on a call on your Ally, you can make sure that you're heard clearly. There's also the AI noise cancellation feature, which lets you cancel any kind of background noise that may be present. We also have the speaker mode option, which will basically let you configure how the speakers on the Ally work, and you can switch the AI noise cancelling speaker option on and off from here. Other options in the settings tab includes the game visual option. Now this feature lets you select from different profiles such as racing, RTS, vivid, eye care, cinema, and much more. These modes change the hue, color, and brightness of the screen on the fly for your needs. Next up is the lighting option, which lets you customize the two ring lights on the Ally. There's also a slider to control brightness intensity. The finer settings lets you toggle light settings in various scenarios, and you can also control the XG mobile LEDs with a dedicated tab. The final content tab has many options to explore. You may sometimes see a new and interesting promotions here. As you can see, we are running the Where is my Ally campaign right now. You can browse what game platforms are installed on the Ally from here and access them directly as well. When I tap on the Steam icon, as you can see, it opens Steam's Big Picture mode directly. Media Gallery will show you all the screenshots and screen recordings you have taken in-game, whereas the system shows in-depth information about various aspects of the Ally, like its display and more. More information on storage is found in the dedicated storage tab, and the About section shows you information about the Armory Crate SE app version. The option to automatically run Armory Crate SE at boot is also nestled here, which you can toggle on and off. Help Center is a great resource for tutorials on how to make the best use of the Armory Crate SE. There are multiple tutorials here, including how to connect or disconnect the XG Mobile. The User Center gives you the login option, and once you log in, you'll be able to unlock more profile-based options. Finally, the Update Center. It's an important tool to let you check for updates. We have also added an option to keep the Ally updated automatically so that you don't really need to come and check for updates manually and regularly. There are multiple shortcut options enabled by default on the ROG Ally. You can look up these shortcuts by doing a long press on the Armory Crate button. As you can see here, you can see all the shortcut options very neatly listed for every button and every shortcut that's available. On the back, we have two macro buttons, and if you press the M2 plus A button, for example, it takes a quick screenshot. Similarly, M1 plus D-pad up button pulls up the virtual keyboard. These shortcuts are quite helpful for when you're navigating around the Windows 11 environment on the Ally. And that's all we have for you today in this run-through of the ROG Ally's Armory Crate SE. We will see you again very soon.